Hi, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Across STEM with YSI, a podcast where we explore how STEM unfolds across countries, cultures, and time. I'm Amirali Banani, your host for today's episode, and I'm so excited to have you join us. Each conversation here is about more than just STEM, it's about stories, ideas, and the people behind them. Today, I'm speaking with Zoe Triantafyllidou, a high school student from Thessaloniki, Greece, who joined Youth STEM Initiative as a researcher originally and is now also the leader of our Greece chapter. An ambitious student
Thank you for
aspiring to
having
be...
me.
Of course, of course. Thank you for being here. You're an ambitious student who is aspiring to dive deeper into the world of emerging tech, super passionate about genetic engineering and innovations in synthetic biology, as well as how they connect to the agriculture and food production markets. A few months ago, I heard you're working on a really cool agriculture project in a team of aspiring scientists. I'm not sure if you're still working on it or have completed it, but you can share about that in this episode as well. Other than that, we will learn about Zoe herself, her background, challenges she's faced, what it's like being a STEM passionate high school student in Greece, her ambitions, hobbies, and more in this episode of Across STEM with YSI. So let's begin. Zoe, welcome to Across STEM with YSI. How are you doing today? Where are you at right now?
Thank you.
What have you been up to lately?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Happy to be here
Nice.
doing this podcast.
So we're on vacation right now for our school. We have like 3 months vacation, like mostly. And right now I'm working. I like graduated from the Knowledge Society where we used to deal with a project that you said before with agriculture and stuff. And TKS, yeah, it's an amazing program, yeah.
Yeah.
So now I got back from a summer program on human rights and diplomacy during like July from NMH. And now I'm working on like different projects and different like backing up some other priorities that I had. So like getting back into the whole STEM field.
Right. Amazing. So still staying busy during the summer,
Exactly.
even on vacation.
How about you?
So, uh, same with me. I mean, I was in Europe for the beginning of the summer, and then I came back ever since. I've been working on a lot of projects, and I have my job, and just trying to stay busy during the summer. Also hanging out with a lot of friends and spending time with family. So it's going really well. Um, I would like university to start again, but I'm also like I'm enjoying the summer. So, uh,
Nice.
for now, I'm here at home in Canada, and then I'll be going back to uni in 1.5 months actually. So quite a bit of time left still. Now,
Nice.
I want to ask you. So I've seen there are some important pillars in your life, like social and environmental sustainability, rhetorics, diplomacy, and persuasive speaking. Tell me more about them.
Yeah, sure. So I started from Green Ambassadors, a team in my school, which like dealt with environmental issues and like beach cleanups and working towards like developing new mechanisms and new like ways to protect and like preserve our environment. And actually, I like this a lot. And I've also participated in a program with dolphin protection and the marine life protection. So this gave me the spark, let's say, to move on to more STEM related issues. So I think I found the correlation between, and like I'm looking for this, the correlation between the humanities and the STEM related fields, because whenever you have to deal for a problem, it's a problem for humanity that has a cause, like that has an impact on the society. So it's much better to start from STEM related fields, for, in my opinion, so that you can deal with the humanity, like the world problems that you have in front of you. So that was my, let's say, perception of the world, and that was my vision. So I started working on that. And that's exactly the project on agriculture. I started like looking for the biggest problems in the world, and I concluded that like world hunger is an issue that many people are trying to solve, and many people fail to solve that, because it's not about the innovation behind the field, but it's about like how you deal with some situations, how you understand the resources that you have, and how you deal with the resources that you have in front of you, so that you can solve a problem. So like it's not the innovation that we need, it's like the accessibility that we can give to these people and these sources. So that's actually the main cause of my whole experience, like the main pillar. And this has many intersections with MUN and like working on some companies, like the Smile of the Child, which is volunteering in my country for the children, and also like some social initiatives that would foster this innovation and sustainability pillar that I'm working on right now.
Amazing. I love that you're doing all this, focusing on the humanities side too, because I mean, a lot of people in science or who are passionate about science, you know, they focus a lot about the science itself, but not on necessarily the implications and what it can do for humans, you know, as a whole. Like that's ultimately the goal of science, to make people's lives better, to make the world a better place. I love that you're focusing on that, and I love that it's one of your pillars. So my next question is, what does it look like living as a high school student in Greece? What does, the day-to-day life look like, more specifically as a STEM passionate student like you?
Nice. So, when I was in middle school, actually, I came here in Thessaloniki. We moved in with my family because it would provide more opportunities for us to like get involved in stuff and get involved in competitions and programs and like get into the community stuff. So when I was in another city in Greece, the resources and the initiatives were like lower and like less than it is now. So it's difficult, I would say, for a student in Greece to participate in all these competitions if you're not this passion, or if there's not like the force that drives you to do that. So if you have a mentor, or if you're like very passionate about something, you can do whatever you want and whenever you want. So nothing can stop you from that. But if you're like in Greece, in many places we have limited resources and we don't have so much knowledge, so much like education behind that, and we try to, as a country, I think we try to foster that like in these years, so that we can include all kinds of people from all kinds of like fields and like cities and regions in Greece. And we also tried to do that with my Formula One team in school, because we understood that this was the problem with some communities, and because some people are like have some disabilities and this holds them back, we try to include them into the discussion and to include them into this whole sector of STEM, because STEM is for everyone, for women, for everyone. Like you can't divide this. You can divide the population, I think, in this sector. So we try to promote that, and in Greece, it's difficult to achieve that. So I think everyone has in mind that we need to include these people and we need to be all together in order to achieve what we want. So as a high school student in Anatolia College, in the college that I am right now, I have the privilege, let's say, to be working with all these professionals and all these mentors that have helped me a lot. So as an individual, I would say that I'm very lucky for this part. But as a student in Greece, I would say there's much to improve, and we can work on that. We're
Definitely.
working on that.
One of the leaders, one of the leaders for that. Amazing. I've been to Greece. It's one of the most beautiful, amazing countries I've been to. The people were so hospitable, the food, the weather, the culture. Wow, it just blew my mind. And I was there for 3 weeks. It was, one of the best 3 weeks of my life. But I've never lived there, although I'd love to, at least for a bit, at some point in the future. And I'm curious, what was it like actually growing up in Greece? I mean, you talked about how it's like as a high school student there now, but growing up there, what was it like?
So, I think it was really nice, and I wouldn't change something if,
Yeah.
like, my whole, let's say, career and academic path from like until now, it was exceptional, and I wouldn't change a thing because I wouldn't be in that position right now. So every difficulty and every um, like every step that I took, I think it helped me to become the person that I am right now and care about the others around me. So like growing up in Greece, it's amazing. It's like the places, the people, and the support that you get from even from the deans from your school, even though the school is not like well known or something. I was talking to them and I was saying we need to do that. We need to do this club in our school to like include other people, and they were so acceptable and they were so supportive in that. And this actually gave me the spark and gave me the energy to move forward, because without motivation and without people that support you, it's difficult to move on, even if you are very passionate and very like driven towards this path, because you always need these people that like are the first step from your in your whole life. So I would say Greece is a nice place to be, and even though it needs some improvements, as like if we talk about education and the resources that we have, I think we can reach that. Yeah, as I said before, yeah.
That's
So
beautiful.
it was nice.
Beautiful. Wow. So I'm glad that you were able to have that support network, to grow up in Greece and have all the support you needed to get to where you are now. And I hope it continues as you develop, build your career. Really, really nice to hear that.
Thank you.
You recently came from a summer program at the NMH school in Boston. Is that right?
Yes, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And actually, you didn't take any science courses, you told me, but instead you took Model UN, Diplomacy and International Relations, as well as acting and singing. So you're quite the polymath. Tell us more about the program, what you did in Boston.
So I didn't choose to do a STEM related topic because I think all this, like the whole year, I was working in this TKS program that I talked about. I was working with professionals and companies to solve these problems via through using technology and the emerging technologies now, like AI and gene editing and synthetic biology. So I felt that what if we take a step back and think of like the humanities side that we said before, because I'm very passionate about international relations and working in this sector. So I decided to merge these two and like go into diplomacy and see what's going on there. So like I got the chance to talk to my professor, and she's like, "You're doing all these amazing things. Would you like to present them?" And I was like, "Okay, I can do that." And even though it was an international relations class, I ended up presenting my project for refugees, which was related, and the project for gene editing for agriculture, which was on world hunger. And you can see this correlation with every subject, and like even though it's a STEM related issue, you can relate it with international relations, and you can like find the intersection with human rights and any other subject that you want.
So it's like they merge together.
Yeah. So I experienced that, and then I thought that I had some extracurricular activities in the afternoon. So I was I wasn't into acting in my school or something. So I'm like, okay, let's try this again. Let's try acting for once. Why not? And I went there and I met so interesting people, and people that helped me with my persuasive speaking as well, with my skills towards the audience and how to like talk to them, how to get their attention. And I gained something from there as well. And also singing, of how to pronounce words, how to like enunciate. And it was a nice experience as a whole, because I got to perform in front of the whole program in the end. And even though it was stressful, we made it, and like the reward was much better.
Super cool, super cool. So best program you've done or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
One of the best. One of the best.
Wow. Wow. Fascinating. This was 2 weeks, right? 2 week program?
It was 4 weeks actually. Yeah, it has a 2 weeks
4 weeks.
program and a 4 weeks. I chose the 4 weeks.
4 weeks, right. Okay, that's how you got to do all these different things, acting, singing, Model UN, public speaking, like incredible. Wow.
Thank
So,
you.
seem to be really good at multiple things outside of science, outside of STEM. Um, and from that, what are some of your other hobbies? What do you like to do in your spare time outside of researching synthetic biology and its applications, or outside of all the
Yeah.
programs you do? What do you do on like a daily basis for your hobbies?
So, I really like reading books outside of that and playing some sports with my friends, volleyball and tennis. And because I like find some time for my own, like for myself, and it helps me clear my mind, even like when I have a long day and a difficult day. I find my friends that we hang out or we watch a movie or something, and it makes me feel like home and relaxed once again and ready to start my next day. And an advice that I would give is like to have the things that you want to do the next day. When I like because I mentioned that, so the things that you want to do the next day, you have a to-do list for the next day. So it would be the best for me is to do it like at night, the night before, so that I have my mind clear when I go to sleep and have my whole schedule like arranged so that I'm sure about what I'm doing the night, like the days forward. And this helps me with not being overwhelmed with all these activities. And yeah, so this is how I incorporate sports and watch, like hanging out with my friends into this schedule.
Super, because it's so rejuvenating. You need that. You need a break from everything that you do, and I know you do a lot, so it's super important to have that. Well, let's move on to a segment, a special segment. So let's fast forward a bit. We call this segment STEM Across Time. 50 years into the future, what do you hope we have figured out in synbio and genetic engineering and agriculture? It's these are very exciting fields with a lot of potential to solve a ton of the world's problems, really. Like what's going on in what you're researching can really make a true difference, especially now with all the environmental challenges we're facing and all the troubles with climate change. So tell me what you hope we would have discovered in the near future.
So I will start with something that I learned in this program that I participated in. So like we talked about the ozone hole and the effect that it had on the environment some years ago. And they were like, we reached our target, which was to reduce the ozone hole by like to reduce it much. So I thought that I didn't have this idea that something would go really well about this climate change issues, and that we need to work on that. So when they told me that the United Nations, for example, have reached their goal to minimize this effect and like mitigate the consequences of this effect, I was like, oh, so things can happen, and things can happen by people, and it's not something extraordinary that doesn't happen or that we're like destined to be in this situation. So I thought of my own project on world hunger and how to deal with this with gene editing, and how to apply CRISPR technologies and other like groundbreaking technologies into the sector, into the world hunger, and how to deal with this issue, how to offer these needs and these resources to people. And I figured out that it's not like that the problem is the lack of accessibility and not the lack of innovation. So many people have thought of many emerging technologies that would help, but the idea wasn't so well, like, didn't have the fundamentals to work. and it wasn't achieved for some reason. So what I want for the future and what I hope for the future is that we will be able to make all the resources and the food that we provide to these people, and even the seeds, because I was working on the project with seeds and how to gene edit the seeds in order to send them to people that are in need, and let's say poorer countries. So my goal is to find this silver lining, say, between innovation, sustainability, and accessibility, so that we can offer the needs and the basic resources, because it's not something weird, it's something that we all have every day, that we have food. Most of the countries have food, and these people, and there's a whole like food waste in the world, and these people don't have the necessities. So it's really important to even like start from the children and go beyond.
So, Zoe, tell us more about your research you do in synthetic biology. I remember reading an article you wrote on Medium about synthetic biology and vertical farming, which was super fascinating and also tremendously valuable considering today's climate and environmental troubles that are making agriculture as a whole very challenging. Tell us more about that, how you got into researching this, and the insights you've discovered.
Yeah, thank you for asking this question. So, when I got into TKS, the program that I was talking about, and I got involved into synthetic biology and gene editing, I tried to understand the core problems that we have in this field and why is not everything moving on the way we want to move on. So I searched for vertical farming because I just saw a video, to be honest, about that, and they were talking about the groundbreaking innovation of vertical farming and how this would affect the whole situation of the whole agricultural field, and how they would provide resources and this necessities of food supplies to the market. So I thought, why not merging synthetic biology into vertical farming? And why vertical farming? Because it's a field that, it's an innovation that can help you because you don't waste so much land, which is useful for other resources. You don't waste so much land, and you don't and it's in vertical, in shelves, so you can have a controlled environment with controlled temperature and controlled humidity, so that you can have the results that you want on the vegetables and fruits that you're growing. So I thought that this would be a groundbreaking innovation in the field if we merge it with synthetic biology and gene editing, because this way we could edit the seeds genetically, so that we can put all these vitamins and let's say healthy nutrients into the fruits and vegetables, so that they can be all in one. Because in these countries, in these unfortunate countries, let's say, they don't have accessibility to all the food supplies, to all the things in the market. So if they have tomatoes, for example, that have all the nutrients and all the vitamins that are needed for their organism, for their body, it can help them develop some, say, can help them grow up, the children and the people, and the adults, when in a situation in hunger and in other conditions that they couldn't afford buying all these fruits and vegetables and all these products that are offered in the market. So this would be a huge change in the sector, and I would someday I would like to merge these two projects, these vertical farming systems, with the World Hunger project that I had, in order to be able to also within packages, send the seeds into the send it to the countries so that they can use them on their own and cultivate these products on their own and be self-sufficient.
Amazing. Amazing. You'll be one of the leaders helping to solve world hunger. That's incredible. I love it, honestly, because it's it's never a field I really looked into, but you've really opened up this new perspective for me into synthetic biology first of all, and also its applications. I didn't know it had such tremendous applications in agriculture too. So I will be looking more into it,
Great.
thanks to
Of
you.
course.
And learning about it more in this episode too. Now, do you think vertical farming will become more widespread, especially in cities, over the next decade or so?
So I think it's like it's a good innovation. It's something that would help, but I I would say because of the ethical considerations and because of people being protective of their people not being so like willing to try new things and try new approach other things different ways. So like the morality of the issue would be an obstacle because many people think that gene editing can have a bad side as well and like a positive and a negative side. So many people stand in this negative side and they're like this would change the product so much and they wouldn't be healthy for their bodies. And I can hear that, but if AI and any other emerging technology is getting into the field, why wouldn't gene editing? So I think that it's an innovation that would take a lot to be integrated into the market and like be widely spread. But with the appropriate techniques and the time that is needed for people to digest this new opinion, this new like innovation, I think it would come in some years, hopefully.
Hopefully, the sooner the better. But at the rate that it's accelerating, I think it could definitely be possible in maybe the next decade or so. Of course, I still don't know much about it. You know a lot more, but hopefully, yes, because it is an urgent issue that I hope
I hope I help with that.
vertical farming. Of course, and yeah, you can help be one of the leaders of it actually, one of the pioneers. So about synthetic biology, what excites you the most? Or even about vertical farming, genetic engineering, if you have to choose something, like what's the one thing that excites you more than anything else?
Because I'm very like into sustainability and environmental sustainability and social as well, I would say both these sectors intersect with synthetic biology because in many like ways they can help people evolve and they can give a solution to like if you want to merge all these substances that we talked about before and if you want to like provide people with the best. I found synthetic biology and gene editing a sector that it's interesting and it's like impressive in some ways because you can see all these different approaches and you can like I'm not sure how to explain that, to be honest. It's like I found my passion in that because it's a sector where you can craft things and like create many other useful and like many useful tools and mechanisms and seeds and food supplies for people that need it most. So it would have a social impact that could be seen in a short period of time. So I guess that was the advantage that I saw in the sector.
Beautiful. I mean, I think maybe you saw something a lot of other people didn't see. But yeah, it's incredible. It's like a seed that just branches out. That can help out with all these different things at the same time. Now, tell me more about the agriculture projects that you've been working on.
Yeah.
with the
So
team?
it was Seed Rise, and we have a YouTube channel as well. We have a video there explaining our project. It's called Seed Rise.
Okay, I can
Yeah,
share that.
for sure. It was a moonshot project in TKS, and a moonshot is like a 10x idea that could be is like that has the potential to be implemented in the future, and it's something that cannot be implemented with the resources that we have right now as high school students or in this period of time, but it's an idea that would work and that would be implemented and have a real world impact. So our project was based on how to use gene editing to modify the seeds and transfer them to the countries that need it the most and be accessible to these countries and these people. So we would collaborate with farmers to understand their needs, and because it's the most important thing to collaborate with people and understand what the people need, because your solution might be a moonshot, but it's also applicable to these countries. So you have to watch, you have to observe what people want and what people need to survive and to have a quality of life, so that you can be as successful as you can with your project. So we talked with some farmers, and we understood that the core problem is the accessibility in these places. So we understood that we needed to keep it small, and that it would be transferred to other countries easily. So we incorporated gene editing into some seed hubs. The seed hubs would be like some packages that would have the mechanism and the simple equipment for the people to grow the seeds into their own countries and to grow them into the soil, so that this soil can absorb all the substances that we give them with the CRISPR mechanisms, and we would modify the seeds so that they can get into the ground and they could grow in the same way as they could normally grow, but with more substances and more vitamins and stuff, so that the people can get more when they eat these things, when they consume them. So the problem of world hunger, we hope that this was a way to solve the problem or mitigate the effect, because people would have the access to these products and would not need to buy all these different all these different fruits and vegetables to get all kinds of vitamins that are really important for their nourishment and for their life. That was the whole mindset behind the idea.
Very, very innovative, and it's incredible you're doing this already in high school.
Thank you.
So kudos to you. I'll share your work with everyone, your YouTube channel, so they can learn more about it too, along with this episode. Of course. Well, this is a very different question I want to ask you. So you're a fantastic scientific writer, and I want you to give us some tips on how you write so well and the important things to consider, in particular when writing a scientific piece.
So,
Give me 2 or 3 tips.
yeah, for sure. I would say start by identifying the real problem that you want to talk about and start by making it yours. Or even start with a problem that is yours and that you see, that you can see in your environment, in order to have it as your own problem, in order to be more passionate about this and try to solve this. And you will understand that on the way, because you will find all these ideas and all these misconceptions that exist for some problem, so that you can solve this and you can find easy some innovative ways that someone wouldn't think of, or someone wouldn't correlate. Let's say humanities and STEM sometimes people don't think of relating them, but they have a huge correlation. So that was my point of the point that I started with, and My second piece of advice would be try to try to look into companies, and if you read scientific articles, I'm sorry, try to look into companies and what other people do, not competitors, but other like companies in the field, so that you can understand what's the current situation and what's the problem, like what are the stakeholders, what's holding them back from doing what they're doing, what's holding, like, let's say, gene editing from achieving, what are some obstacles in this sector, so that you can really have an idea into what you're looking for and what you need to solve. So if you have the idea of, this was what my mentor told me, you need to find the obstacle in order to solve the real issue behind that. So that would be my advice. And don't think so much of the language maybe in this scientific article. Just try to use the techniques and the way that you crafted something, or if you're implementing something in a lab, try to explain with images and evidence and like links working here like to other sites and other companies' projects, so that you can show the other person and that she can understand your situation and what you're solving there. That would be my advice. Yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Don't keep it surface level. Go deep into it. Show where you got your sources, all the information, where it comes from. Even create like a web of sources so it makes sense to them, you know, how you got each piece of information, and then you know, the stuff that you're writing about, how it relates to where you got all that information. Go deep into it, provide details, make it easy for the person to understand what you've written about, and for them to be able to, you know, be able to even repeat what you talked about. Make it that easy for them so they can learn and understand everything without having to do like mental gymnastics.
Like for instance, if you're
So-
working on programming and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have like a code or something that could help them, show it to them or walk them to it so that they can understand your situation, how you're implementing this, so that they can have the history, the whole story that you had when you started working on that. So walk them into the story. Yeah.
Absolutely. Step by step, walk them through. Moving on to our final segment, it's time for something a bit different. And this is specifically about, you know, where you're from, Greece. Greece, as we know, has been one of the pioneers of scientific discovery and innovation from the ancient times, with people like Hippocrates, the father of medicine, Aristotle, who was a polymath and knew a lot about philosophy and the natural sciences. You know, the list goes on. There's a ton that we've read about in books and etc. I'm sure you've read about it more being from Greece yourself. Now, what is a quirky or little-known STEM-related fact about Greece that you'd like to share?
I would say we're more into philosophy and like persuasive speaking and rhetorics, but many people start getting into the STEM sector. Even like I think the last 4 or 5 years, people start working on robotics a lot, and I had the honor to be in the national robotics team in my country. So
Wow.
we were like, I saw so many people. Like I saw the whole team growing, and many people were coming into us, and they were like, "How do you do that?" Or how are you into robotics, and how do you see AI growing, and how you can incorporate that into robotics? And I was looking at all these people, these like very passionate people. I was like, okay, so we have something here. And I think in Greece, most of the, some years ago, it wasn't so, let's say, usual to be involved into the STEM field and try to work on Formula One or iGEM or like all kinds of competitions that work on a STEM-related field. But when people learned about this, like via the news or newspapers or by talking to one another for their achievements, and if someone was in a team, a robotics team, or I don't know, something else related to STEM, they were working towards that, and they were like, oh, I should join that just for fun. And this fun was becoming a passion. And I had seen that a lot in my school as well. I walked, I told people about what I'm doing, and they were like, oh, can I try that? Even like younger students. I'm like, of course you can. And they started working on that, and I think Greece has become more innovative towards STEM related fields, and I like seeing that. So we have many teams and in many competitions that thrive in some fields, and I wasn't seeing that many years ago, like some years ago. So now I'm very happy and satisfied, so let's say, that I see people working in volunteering and trying to incorporate STEM fields into their daily life, or trying to do some research. So even if it's an initiative, helps, and like initiatives like that help a lot, because from the Greece chapter that we're hosting, I've seen many pull requests and people asking, oh, what is this organization? Can I join, or how can I like contribute to that? And you can see all these people, all these passionate people, ready to make a change or ready to do something in their country. And in Greece we didn't have that a lot, so now it's something new, and we try to work on that. And I don't know, I like seeing the innovation that we're driven towards right now. I think that's a fun fact. I don't know, for Greece.
Cool. That's amazing to hear. I mean, Greece already has the humanities side covered. I know that, and now they're trying to they're showing more interest in science. They're getting more involved in science, and so I think when you combine the two, like what you're doing, as a whole, the country could become one of the global leaders, really. So I'm really glad to hear that. I'm glad to see there's also interest in the Greece chapter even of the STEM initiative, which will be growing more and more from now on. It's super exciting to hear, really exciting times, and I hope to see Greece get even more involved in everything that's going on in the scientific world. So really glad to hear that. And I think that wraps up our podcast. That brings us to the end of this third episode. It's crazy we've already had 3. This initiative just started a few days ago, and we'll have more and more coming up soon. A huge thank you to Zoe for joining me and sharing about your journey so far in STEM and all the things that you're passionate about, which is really inspiring to hear. You're still in high school, not even in university, and you're already making a huge difference with an even brighter future ahead of you. So keep it up, Zoe.
So glad
and it's a great pleasure.
So glad we're working with you as well, because
Of
you're
course.
so
I mean, it's look.
open-minded, and thank you for that.
Thank you so much. It means a lot, and it's a great pleasure for me to get to know you through U7 Initiative. It's really an honor, and I'm glad that you're one of the leaders of the initiative too, as the leader of the Greece chapter. So I hope to continue working with you more and more from here. Now, to the audience, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow the podcast and check us out on socials to stay updated. We've got, as I said, a lot more incredible guests and conversations coming your way, just like Zoe. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring STEM across borders and time. Thank you so much.